Hearken, O children of clay, and gather round the flickering hearth, that I may speak a tale as ancient as the wind-worn stones of Olympus itself. I am Philemon of Phaleron, a humble bard who wanders from polis to polis, bearing stories wrought from the breath of the gods. Tonight, in this crowded courtyard beneath the star-spangled sky, I unveil the sorrowful chronicle of Pandora's box, though box is but a crude tongue's twisting of the true shape the gift once bore. Long ago, when Zeus, Lord of Thunder, still brooded over mankind with stern eye, the immortal assembly feuded. Prometheus, titan of forethought, had dared to filch the sacred fire from Hephaestus's forge and present it to humankind, gift of light and craft, yet token of audacity. Unwilling to suffer such defiance, Zeus commanded Hephaestus and Athena to fashion a marvel that would both charm and undo the race of mortals. From earth's richest clay, Hephaestus shaped a maiden, Pandora, all gifts, whose name carried the weight of every blessing and woe that would follow. Athena clothed her in gleaming robes and taught her graceful dance. Aphrodite breathed upon her cheeks the roseate bloom of desire. Hermes infused her tongue with sweet deceit. When she stood complete, radiant as the dawn, even the gods paused in envy and admiration. Yet Zeus, in his guile, called her a punishment, in gilded guise, and sealed in her hands a jar of unbreakable bronze, saying, "This, Pandora, safeguard with pious care, that none of us may suffer for thy curiosity." Little did she know how tightly woven were the threads of her destiny. To Epimetheus, titan of hindsight and brother of Prometheus, she was sent as bride, though warnings had passed that men should never trust a gift from cloud-capped Zeus. But Epimetheus, struck by her loveliness, welcomed her, and their wedding feast resounded with laughter and libations. Mortals beheld her charm and rejoiced. Mortals beheld her tears and had no cause for fear. Then, in that sacred hall where firelight danced upon painted walls, a whisper visited her, a question born of that same curious spark which had brought fire to mortals. What lies within this vessel that neither Zeus nor any god would have open? The thought was timid at first, like a mouse stirring in the night. Yet curiosity grew fierce as wildfire through dry grass, and Pandora's heart trembled, torn between reverence and longing. Could it be delight, or was it sorrow, or a mingling of both? Each time she passed the jar, she sensed its silent mutter, its promise of revelation. On the seventh dawn, while Epimetheus hunted in the olive groves and mortals raised their voices in hymns to Demeter's harvest, Pandora found herself alone. The jar sat upon its pedestal of marble, its lid of bronze gleaming like the sun's own chariot. And in that moment, the weight of wonder proved stronger than the weight of fear. She lifted the lid and unleashed a pandemonium of miseries upon the world, outpoured a legion of winged nightmares, pestilence with her green-veined hands, famine, gaunt as shadow, war heavy-helmeted and roaring with wrath, death, pale and silent, trailing his scythe. They swirled above the earth, slipping through every village and hearth, darkening every hearth and field. Mortals shrieked as loved ones fell, as crops withered, as brother turned against brother in the madness of jealousy and hate. In horror, Pandora clapped her hands to her mouth, but too late. Every ill had raced free like stallions, horseless from their stables. Despair welled within her, deeper than the sea's abyss. She sealed the jar in trembling haste, but the damage was done. The world, once bright and untroubled, lay wounded, its laughter replaced by laments that echoed from mountain to riverbank. Yet as she gazed into the jar's empty belly, a faint glimmer caught her eye. There, unseen until that bleak moment, dwelt a single sprite, Elpis, the goddess of hope. Though many have called hope a cruel token, an empty comfort to thwart swift death, I tell you, O children, that without her life would rot utterly in the darkness. Elpis, pale and fragile, remained imprisoned by Pandora's final act. Thus, even in the depths of Gorgonian sorrow, mortals still found the strength to rise, to toil, to dream of dawn beyond the darkest night. Epimetheus returned at sunset to find his halls sullen and his bride bowed with anguish. Her eyes held an ocean of tears. He fell to his knees beside her, wrath and grief warring in his breast, yet found no words that could undo what was done. Together they lifted the jar's tarnished lid and blessed the tiny gleam of hope that paled beneath their gaze. And so it was that humanity, though scarred, learned to endure. For hope, more than fire or gold, shapes the heart to kindle new dreams, even when all seems lost. Thus ends the tale of Pandora's box, as I have heard it in my wanderings by the olive-scented air of Attica, and retell it by fire's light. Beware, mortals, of gifts that dazzle with bright promises, for they may cloak hidden thorns. Yet cherish hope, that blessed spark, for it alone can guide the soul through shadowed valleys into the light again. May your hearts hold this lesson as I pass onward to tell another tale, another shard of the immortal past, beneath the watchful stars and the silent gaze of the gods.